Good morning, everyone. My name is Mr. Jefferson. I will be taking you through the tutorial for this class. In this class, we are going to be learning about front-end web development using HTML. There are three basic programming languages we are going to be learning: HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. But for the purpose of this very class, we shall be focusing on HTML. So what is HTML? HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. It's easy to learn and it's fun to learn. HTML comes through various levels of development. Until now, we have HTML5, which is the most advanced HTML so far for now. In all through, as you've heard me say, all through all web pages, they all have HTML structure in them. So you need to, that's why it's very important we understand HTML efficiently. HTML is a major programming language used in the web pages because the structure that is laid before any other programming language is used is still HTML. All right, so it's very important. You can't find any web page on the internet that does not have HTML in it. It's very important that we understand HTML. So before we move further, you need to understand also what is called your editors. There are several editors you can use. You can use Notepad, Visual Studio Code. You can use text editor, Notepad++. You can use Sublime text editor. You can use Atom editor. You can use a bracket editor and the rest of them. There are so many editors you can use in your web programming. If you want to use Notepad, but let me use my Visual Studio Code. All right, or my numerous code. All right, so this is my Visual Studio Code environment. If you don't have Visual Studio Code, please use Notepad. It's also very good. There's nothing wrong. It's still the same thing. The only advantage of Visual Studio Code over Notepad is that Visual Studio Code has autocomplete feature that you're writing your code. It will also suggest the complete part of the code for you. There's nothing really unique and different in the Visual Studio Code. Before we start with our basic structure of HTML, before I talk about that, there are some certain things you need to understand that all your applications, all what you're going to be working on should be in one folder. So to start with, I will come to my desktop and I will create my folder. I will create my folder. Let me say, call this folder web tutorial. All right, call it web tutorial. So all my files that is concerned with this application, whether it be my HTML files, my CSS file, my JavaScript file, pictures, audios, videos, any file I'm going to use with this web page, I will put them inside this folder. So for now, let's go back to our Visual Studio Code. First of all, we need to understand our basic structure of HTML code. This is like the foundation of HTML. If you get this wrong, then you'll be having issues with your codes. Please take note, pay attention to your codes. Observe what you're writing as you're going through this class. Observe what you're doing. Observe the result is giving you. Because if you don't observe these two things, when you're making mistakes, you will not even know that you're making mistakes, and by the time you realize yourself, you've made so much mistakes and you're trying to debug it, and in debugging it you will spend much more time trying to debug than the time you spend writing your codes. So let's start with our basic structure. So you're going to open your angular bracket. This is an angular bracket, so you're going to type HTML exclamation mark doc type is specify our document type. Doc type, we are using HTML. All right, so let's close our angular bracket. Then let's go to the new line. Then open angular bracket, call up HTML. Let's specify the language we are going to use through all this. Let's specify this. You see, it's giving me an autocomplete. So let me just specify. Let me use UK English, US. All right, then I close this. Then also I'm going to open up this. Now we're going to call up my head. I'm going to call up my header tag. Then also title. Then close the title here. I close for head. Alright, then I call up for body. Then let me close for body. Then let me close for HTML. Alright. Now this is my basic structure of HTML. The header will allow controls information that should not be seen on the web page, probably the ones I want to hide. Then the main body, the body contains what information that I want it to be displayed on the web page. All right. So you notice that you look at the doc type, the exclamation mark, and you have the doc type HTML. It declares the document type, which is HTML5. Then the HTML element that we have enclosed there enclose everything inside HTML element. That's why you have HTML at the beginning and HTML. So it encloses everything in HTML. That's why HTML must be at the beginning and or you close it at the bottom. Then you have the head element encloses the metadata of document, which will not be displayed on the main content of the web page. The metadata, the information contained in the header will not be disclosed, will not be displayed on the content of the HTML. Then the title contains the name that will be displayed on the tab, the name of the page that will be displayed on the tab of your browser. Then you also have the body. The body includes different elements like your formatting options in your web page. All right, so that is that. Then you have several of them, so we'll be using several elements in the web. Yeah, we are going to be developing elements like your H1, your paragraph, your image, your break, your italics, and so much more. We are going to be using it. So let me quickly talk about HTML tags. HTML tags talks about names surrounding an angle bracket. The names surrounding an angle bracket. Now, if you look at inside this each of these angle brackets, you have names inside of them. So the name surrounding an angle bracket is what we call the HTML tags. All right, good. So now let's save this file. We have to click on this our file, or you can use your Control A's and then you click save. When you click save, I'm going to save this file inside my folder that I created, web tutorial. Scroll down looking for where I save my folder, web tutorial. So I have this here and I open it. So I'm going to save this. Let me say index index.html. It's necessary to include this .html, this file extension, so that it can run on the browser normal. If you do not include it, it will be seen as a normal text file and it will run on the browser. So please, you must include this .html. Now, if I minimize this now and I come to my folder and I open this, you see that my file is here already active. So I can just if I run this on the browser. No, this is an old one. This is actually what we are going to be achieving. This is what we have. This is what we have running for us. This is our web page. So now look at this. When we make changes to our web page on our editor, we'll save the difference using Control 8. Then we are going to come to this refresh button and refresh it. That's what we'll be doing. You click this refresh button and refresh. So look at what you do right now. Let me go back to my editor. Then in my editor, I'm going to do something right now. Look at let me come to change my background color first. So I'll come to this body and I will space. Please, your HTML uses American spellings. So if you are typing any word and you're typing a British spelling, it will ignore it because it won't run. It won't understand the English structure. You want to say BG color. See, you have to complete. There is no U in the color because the U will be British. Let me use turquoise. Let me use turquoise. Then I control S. If I go back to my browser and refresh, it applies boom, and it's look at how it is right now. So you make sure if you type a color and it did not reflect, it type something did not reflect, check the spelling that the spelling is rightly typed and is rightly encoded. All right. So let's go back here. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is that we're going to be adding some things to our code. So I'm going to in my title let me add this let me call it home, then control S again, save. If I come out to my browser, if you look at this title is showing index, so let me change it, let me refresh it, it becomes home. All right, it becomes home because that's the title of my page. So that's how this whole thing works. So I change the title to home, and then let me come here and then come down to a new line. I want to create some a menu link for my page. I have something, I will explain it just quickly so that I don't waste time. Copy from my codes. Just copy this and save me time. So you're going to be typing this yourself instead of, so I just drop it here. So I have first of all is this the menu I'm just creating for my page. I am adding a button to the menu. I'm making each of the menus a button. That's why you have button here. Then the type I'm adding an attribute of a button. Then I added a link. Now take note of this link. This link now is very important. You pay attention to what I want to explain right now. Now in this link, the A is the link. It anchors this link, the name of the page. So if I call this home page a web.html, no, so what I called there was index.html. What is the name I used to save it? Index.html. That is the home page, because whatever name I used to save that file should be what is linked up here. So if I call it jefferson.html, that's when I save it, then this should be jefferson.html also here, because if I didn't do that, it will not be able to see themselves when we are linking them from page to page. All right, so I will do that. Then this home you see here is what will show on the browser. This one is the link, it runs at the background, while this home here runs on the foreground. This is what people see on the browser when they visit your website. So I do that the same thing, and I close my anchor link, which is the A. Then I close for my button. I repeated the same process for my about us page, my contact page, my services page, my test page, and the staff page, facilities page. So I have 7 pages on my website. So let me save it and go to my web page and refresh and see what happened. See there. So here I have my home with buttons, menu, about us, contact us, services, testimonial, our staff, our facilities. All right. So take note of this. So for you to write this code down, you can pause the video at this point, and so that you can see all the codes and write the code exactly what you're seeing in this tutorial right now. Write it exactly. You also have the same result if you did exactly the way it is. This our HR is our horizontal rule that draws that line across. So I just need that to be there. I just want to put it there. All right, so let's make some progress. Let's come to the body of our work, and then let's begin to type in some things. If you check through this web page, this is the prototype of what we are going to be working on. There's something I did here. So let's add the name the way we want it to appear. All right, the name the way we want it to appear. So if we go back to our notepad, we are going to still within within this header, going to type the name. So let me use this and set the center. Yes, and set the brain builder science high school. Then I let me apply my break. So the excellence building the future, right? So let's save. Then let's refresh our browser and see what it is. See that? So now if this is very close to my menu, so I don't need that to be. So what I will just do is I will add a paragraph. I'll add a paragraph here. So the P, one paragraph. See, create a space there that is far away. Now let's make our text bigger, and then so what I'm going to do now to make this text bigger, I can just come here, then open my angular bracket, call it font. Now I give a face. I want to choose the the style of the font. Let me just say Algerian. Let me put a size. Sorry, face equal to Algerian, size equal to let me quote 40. All right, then color equal to red. Then I will come here and close my font. All right, now I'm going to repeat this same thing, from there. I'm going to copy this, then bring it up here, paste it here. So this is going a bit more. Let me just bring this one to a new line. So and then I'll change my font type here and the font face, and I'll give it let me give it a font face of Comic Sans. Comic Sans. Then size of 18. Size of 18. Then I'll close here. Alright, now I say this. Let's go back to our browser and refresh and see what it looks like. So that 18 is too big for this other one, so let's go and change the size of this one. So this one 18 is too big, 12, and then change the color to black. So let's save and go back to our browser. Now if you check, this is not the Comic Sans we are using. That means I didn't get. I think it's Comic Sans BT there about. But let me just change the font. Let me change the font to something. Use Poor Richard. So I refresh. See, it changes that. But I need the font to be smaller than this. But let's leave it there for now, and then continue with other things. Now, if I need let me come to my body now. Let's type a little thing about. Let's say we're going to type something about the school. So we said here, going to come say welcome, esteemed and prospective parents, and I'm put my paragraph. Said, so you must be conscious of what you're typing. Once you put an equal to, even if you add some formatting options in between, the next what you're going to start with your usual. So you're going to enforcing where your initial caps lock or where your capital letter appears. You are the one enforcing it. So this is Brain Builders High School. Here we raise a generation of genius who are bold, knowledgeable, versatile. If it's too much, you can break it. If not necessary, you continue. You can break it. It will still come. So let's stop it here. Let's save and go back to our browser and refresh. Let's see what happened on our browser. Now we have not done anything here. So let's actually add some other few text. Sorry, formatting options, just like your Microsoft Word. It has some formatting options like bold. You can choose where to bold in a text. So you can just come here. This esteemed parent. You say B. Then you close the B. That's for bold. Then you can come to after the parent of the full stop. You close the B. All right. So that is that. Now we've quoted that B. So if you save this, go back to your browser. If you check, this text is not bold, but when I refresh it, it becomes bolded. So that's what you're going to do. You can also do the same thing to make the text bigger. So you can choose the size of the text. You can choose the size of the text and the type of font you want it to be on your web page. You can choose that yourself. For instance, if I come here now, I can just come here. Where is that my font stuff? Let me paste it here. I have my font. Then I choose don't use times Roman times Roman. Then I will come here and close for font. You see this? And close for font here. So I save. If I come here now, see how big it become. So if I don't want it this big, this too big, this is 40. So I'll go back and resize it. And resize here. So I can say 12. Save the difference. Go to my browser. It's too small. Let me use size 8. So the choice of the size is totally yours. That's 8 is somehow big too. So we use this 5. Good. 5 is okay. 5 is okay in the browser. So we can also for this other one too. Let's reduce it to 5. So you see, everything follows the way it is. Everything follows. Now you're having a paragraph. This is a paragraph between these two because I use my paragraph. Now my colors are red. I'm using red. It's not now. It is except it is a kind of a header information. Everything should be black, and except it is if it's your personal website and that's what you like, you can use color, or if the customer requests, you can use color. Else, professionally speaking, your web background should be white. So we are going to remove. I'm going to remove some things right now. I'm going to change this my color rate in this my text here to black. Then I'm going to change my background color from this turquoise to, let me say, white. All right. So I change this text to black. I change my background to white. Let's say fresh. That's it. This is far appreciable. All right. This is far appreciable to work with. Now, uh, let's also, so you can actually do all these things. Even if you want to add italics, like for instance, your italics are, you want to italize a text. If I come here now, and then I use this is the brand builder. Look at what I want to do now. I want to say B here, then I here, I for italics, U for underline, then so I can just come here now to close for I. Now look at this. Look at this. Take note of this now. I I open for bold and open for italics. Now the last one I open is the first one I will close. I'll follow that process backward so that I don't miss that. If I don't follow that process backward, if let's say I open for bold and I open for italics and I want to close it, and now I'm not closing for bold first because I open bold first. No, it's wrong. You The last one you open is the last one you close, and you follow the process backward. So I'm going to now close for bold. All right. So now I save. If I go back to my browser and I refresh this, look at Brain Builders Science High School. What will happen to it? See that? That is exactly how these things work. You just for you to understand your codes. I'm going to give you some list of codes that you're going to be using. All right. Now let's create a link. There are different text formatting options in your web page. There are different text formatting options. You have for bold, for italics, you have underline, you have for quotes, you have for typewriter text, you have for small text, you have for emphasize a text, you have for strong emphasis, you have for marking like highlighting using a pen highlighter. Then you use a code like mark. Let's try that. I need us to be trying these things. uh so I'm going to listen now right here. I'm going to do something here, and we'll call it mark, right? Then I will come here, then I'm closing for mark. So if I go back to my browser, and you see that that is that very simple using your mark. So I'm going to run down the list of and you will see it, so you can apply it on yours. You have for bold, you have for bold. B is for bold. I is for italics. U is for underline. Code defines a text as a code. TT for typewriter text. Small makes a text smaller. EM emphasizes a text. Strong emphasizes a text. Mark marks a text like a highlighting pen. Q enquotes a text. S strike through a text. That's using like something like a cancel. All right, good. So if you use the en, it will quote the text for you. Now, like I said earlier, if you want to add your image to your page, then I want to add the logo. Let me go to one of the pictures I have in my system. Then I'm going to pick up where's that my folder? Where's my folder? I have this folder here. I have some pictures here. Where is that? Choiced. So I have all these pictures in here. So let me just pick up this my logo, then I copy it, then I come back here and I paste it here. So look at the name. Now the name is Masternet logo. Look at the file type. You see PNG file. Now it's very important you take note of this file type because uh, because by the time you're going to finish this, you're going to call up this file type. If it's PNG, you're going to use as PNG file. If it's JPEG, you're going to use as JPEG file. If it's JPG, you use as JPG file. If it's a web file, use as a web file. Whatever file format it carries, you will use it that way. So probably if for one reason or the other the file type here does not show here, you can just come over here, over your mouse on it. You see the item type. Item type is PNG file. So you always see it there. In both ways, you will know your file type you are using. So let's go back to our codes. I want to add. This is what I want to do. This is what I want to achieve. So I want to add my logo here. The logo here, as if it's a brand builder logo. I don't have a brand logo, so let me use my logo for it. Don't mind. Don't mind. So I'm going to come up here. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to open this and call it img from image source src, then equal to, because it's inside the same folder with my work, I don't need to begin to give it any kind of a path to follow, because if it's in another place I can give it a path to follow and pick it up, but I don't want to give that stress. So I move it into my folder and it becomes easier, so I don't need any path to follow. So what I'll just do is I'll call up the name of the file, masternet logo.png. all right, then I close it. So I can give some attribute, height and width. Height equal to 2, sorry, equals to 10. Width equal to 10. I'm making it to have a square shape. So I have this and I have this. Look at, very tiny. So let me make it a little bigger. That 10 is very tiny. So let me make it bigger. So let me change the height to 40, and then the width also to 40. See, it comes bigger now. It becomes bigger. See, the bigger the bigger the number, the bigger the size of the picture. So you choose the size you want to use for your picture. All right. So it actually work. Okay. So let's stop here for today. Practice more of this, and then